This is Eastwood's fuel tank repair kit I'm using. It comes with bottles of marine clean, some acid to prep it, and of course the POR 15 fuel tank sealer. I've already used one application of the cleaner. What I did was they talk about using duct tape. Well, what I ended up doing was I made a blanking plate for the fuel tank sender. I also made one here. This is for the fuel pickup with the sock. And here I ended up just putting several layers of saran wrap along with some tape. There's saran wrap with some tape and duct tape there. I'm going to see if we can just see inside this tank at all. You can see that's from sitting overnight. It got a little bit rusty, but it was pretty gungy inside. Now, unfortunately, this tank has an enormous baffle, so I can't see how it is. The other thing I ended up doing with it is I used the pressure washer through this opening here, to try and clean out as much of it as I could. I don't know if that helps any better or not. Get inside there. So it gives you an idea anyways. Where you see the bubble forming, somewhere in there there's a pinhole. Unfortunately, the RX7 gas tank, it didn't really rust out from the inside. It rusts out from the outside, and there's this ledge right here that takes the wheel wash, and the mud and the sand stay here, and it had all kinds of pinholes in it. So what I had done prior to it was I put some fiberglass down and sealed it that way. So right now, that's not very bad. I'm going to live with it the way it is. I'm going to use the POR system. It's rather long and involved. Between the cleaning steps, you can spend 2-3 hours in the cleaning portion, and then once you coat the inside, they recommend 4 days before you use the tank with fuel. But between the time where it's wet and it's being rinsed out, you have to put a hairdryer in it and dry it out. Well, that might take 2 or 3 days just to make sure it's dry, because they're saying the POR won't stick to a wet surface. So if you're going to do this kind of a job, don't think it's going to be a weekend event. The car is going to be off the road for at least a week, maybe more. But this will just give you an idea of what it looks like anyways. And by the time we're done, it's going to be done with covered with pithane, and it'll look quite nice. Well, I just finished rinsing out the tank from the acid. You can see right here where it's already what they call flash rusted. That's where the acid has touched it and it has started to rust. I'm not going to worry about the outside of the tank because I'm going to sandblast it after I do the coating. But if you can try to see inside here, it has really cleaned it out well. Oops, my lens is fogging up on me, but the etching has worked really well. I'm very surprised with this. Considering all the gunge it had on it. It was like this kind of gunge all the way on the tubes, the whole tank inside. You can see how it's all covered. So it's done a good job. You can see a little bit more in there. It's so hard to get a light in there. There we go, right there. There's a light. Anyways, so very good. I'm going to put the blow dryer on it and dry it out for 24 hours and see where I'm at and see if it's dry. If it is, tomorrow I'll coat it. Well, I've been drying the tank out here for about 24 hours. You can see me waving my hand in front. You can even hear the pitch if I block one of the holes off on the fan. And take a look at this. This is where the pickup tube comes in and the sock goes on, and it actually fits right around there, so it does a really good job. The tank is warm to the touch, and like I say, it's been running for about 24 hours. It looks pretty dried out to me, and we're going to go on to the next step. Well, we're looking at me draining the tank of the excess amount of the POR 15. I sloshed it around, I opened the handhole, I looked inside with a flashlight. It looks like everything's pretty evenly coated, and now it's just running out, and you can see how much has actually gone into this old shoebox with a little bit of paper in it. And I'm going to let that dry out. I'm going to let it drip probably overnight and turn it back up. Now on the Mazda gas tank on the RX7, it also has, as you can see, there's a drain plug which comes in really handy if you ever have to take the tank up for any reason. And prior to putting it back in this time, I greased the threads in the end of it, because they say this POR stuff, once it gets on the threads, you won't be able to budge it when it gets hard. So the grease should do the job and stop the paint from sticking on the threads there. Well, this is what the tank looks like after the plastic is hardened. It's actually, that's what it is. I thought it was a metallic type paint, but it's not. It's a it's actually like a plastic coating. It's very hard, but very impressive to see what it's done. Here's another look inside. Give me an idea what it looks like. Hopefully that's not working out too bad with the video, but all in all, a very good product to use. And I did have a pit come right through here at this spot, and you can see how it leached through and sealed it. And it's hard. It's like a plastic coating that's very hard. So very nice product.